When you're ready to actually start listening to the comments on a VoiceThread, there are a few ways you can do it. The first is to just click on the identity image of the person whose comment you want to hear. When I click on that, the comment begins playing. In this case, it's a text comment. And when I hover my mouse over that person's identity image, I see that her name is Michelle Pacansky-Brock. You can hover your mouse over any identity image to get that person's name, and you can click on the image to have the comment start playing. Another way to start listening to a VoiceThread is simply to click the play button down here at the bottom. And this is a little bit like sitting back and just consuming a presentation. You hit play, and all of the comments on this slide will play. It will automatically advance to the next slide when all the comments are done, and then all of those will begin playing. So this is a great way for you to just kind of sit back and absorb what's happening without clicking around and jumping from one comment to the next manually. The next thing that you can do is use the timeline down here at the bottom. This is a timeline just like if you were, say, playing a video. Everybody knows how to use YouTube or other video players. It's a timeline in the same basic way in that you have a scrubber ball right here, and that shows you where in the timeline you are. But unlike the timelines that you're used to, this one actually has some information in it. First, you can see that it's segmented down at the bottom, and each segment represents a different comment. If I hover my mouse over one of the segments, I get the name of the person who recorded that comment, and I get a timestamp that's adjusted to my local time zone. I could click on any one segment to play that comment, and I could jump around as much as I'd like. Now, in addition, if I hover my mouse over a segment, I'll pick the very first one, you can see that Michelle's identity image, way up there at the top on the left, is outlined in white. So that's how I can correlate this comment segment with her identity image. And as I drag my mouse along the timeline, you'll see that each person's identity image is outlined in turn, just going down the side on the left. So it's very easy for you to keep track of exactly whose comment you're hearing at any one time. Now, you might notice that some of these comments are outlined in yellow over here on the right, and their corresponding segments are underlined in yellow. And this is a new comment notification. So it's a little bit like an unread email in your inbox. This is just letting you know you haven't yet seen this. As soon as you do view it or listen to it, then it will go to being gray just like the rest of these, and you can move on and continue participating in the conversation. So when you have a really big voice thread like this one, where there are dozens of comments, it's really helpful to know exactly what you have and haven't heard, because you might not remember, especially if you haven't been here for a week or two. Now, we already used the arrows in the bottom right and left corners to navigate, but if I click on this grid icon just to the left of that, I can zoom out to see all of the slides in this voice thread. And you see that some of these slides also have a yellow indicator in the top right corner. So for example, this very last slide has a little yellow icon right here, and that indicates that there are new comments on this slide as well. So I can click on that one, and then I can look at the identity images or the timeline to see which comments are new for me.